Welcome to the Every Word is Gross podcast.
When you're here, you're family, which is a word that we think is pretty gross.
Now, on to the episode.
What they called me in high school. A monkey. Hey, what if it's a monkey who's about to have a good time?
That was your class superlative. Who is the monkey who's most likely to about to be having a good time?
Most likely monkey
That
to
was
have a good
such
time.
a poorly formed sentence. All of these are.
I love it.
So this podcast is about words because
Yeah.
we know
It's about
them.
words.
It is.
As proven in the last two sentences said by me.
Know them, mostly hate them. That's, I think,
Words that we hate.
words that we...
Yeah, I mean,
It's
yeah, you heard it in the
100%.
intro. Welcome to Every Word is Gross.
Every word
Every word
is.
is gross.
word
It's so
is
gross.
It is so gross, and we're
Yeah.
here to prove it. I
We're gonna
mean,
prove it.
we're gonna let's invite you on this journey as we learn and discover so many gross
I don't know
words.
if we're learning so much as judging,
Oh yeah,
but that's
Yeah.
also one of my favorite things to do.
yep, absolutely. Yeah, we started this. By the way, my name is Cameron.
This is Cameron now.
Yep.
Hi, Cameron.
I am Jake.
Mhm. Yep, that's Jake.
Yes,
Jake
and
right
I'm
here.
Sarah.
Yep. And
been called that
randomly
my
we
whole
were
life.
at like our post grad group that we are a part of, and we randomly were talking about how words are gross.
Words are gross.
And
It started with how it's always irritated me how offended people are by the word
Mm.
moist.
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
they act like it's like how it's kind of like it's a thing to
Mhm.
be afraid of clowns.
Mhm.
And people will go over the top in their hatred for them, which granted, I also am not a clown fan by any means. But the word moist has never bothered me. In fact, Jane Coolidge as Cinderella's stepmom in the Hilary Duff Cinderella movie,
Mhm.
saying that the cookies she's eating are so moist
Mhm.
is probably one of my favorite scenes that Jennifer Coolidge does ever. So I don't know how anyone hates that word. I think they're just jumping on the bandwagon.
Mm.
And we were talking about how many
There's
other
so many
words,
other words that are gross.
that are way grosser, way more grosser, way more
more
gross,
grosser.
way more grosser. That sounds right.
Yeah.
Than moist.
Yeah.
And,
can't-
Like
and
if that's your
therefore-
top, you're not trying hard enough, right?
No, you're just jumping on the bandwagon.
but
If-
you
if
haven't thought.
moist,
You've never.
You're rooting for a first round pick, which
Yep.
honestly kind of a first round bust if you ask me.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
way if there's anything my research for this has taught me is there are way grosser words.
Abs-
It gets so
100%.
much worse.
We're gonna show them to you.
Absolutely.
Or-
and
or
and
say
that's,
them to
that's
you,
how
I
this
guess.
podcast
Evolve.
started. We've been talking about it for about a month
Mm-hmm.
now. And so we're going to each basically how it's going to work. And this could evolve over time. We have zero clue what we're
We have
doing.
no clue.
But we have each a word that we're going to bring to the table, and we're going to talk about why they're gross. We might agree that they are gross. We might disagree that they're gross, but we're going to find out that every word is gross.
Every word is gross.
Yep. And so let's
Cameron, do you want to start?
I will start.
Well, hold on. Are we gonna
Wait, yes.
Are there should we talk about? Are there any words that are out of bounds or that were?
Throughout the podcast.
I don't think there should be anything particularly out of bounds. But
That's my favorite sentence anyone's ever said.
particularly, yeah, that was your modifier. The way I see it is that like bathroom joke or
Like
like
poop.
poop, yeah, like that's low hanging
Honestly,
fruit.
I think the word poop
At
is
some point,
funny. It's not
it's
gross.
hilarious.
Poop
it's not
is gross, but the
there
word
are,
poop isn't
There are
gross.
other gross
Yeah.
associated
You know what's
words.
worse than poop is fecal.
but that's not on our list today.
It might be. No, I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead of myself.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. What I'm saying is that I think those are low hanging fruit.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Doesn't mean we're not going to pick it at
It
some
doesn't
point.
mean we might have to.
We might have
It
to.
went, by the end when the English language is.
It goes on forever.
I mean,
And
it's
it's
not
ever
just
So,
English
changing.
and
either.
that, but
I
that's
mean,
one of those qualifiers, like foreign words.
Yep.
I would also say that I'm not particularly against the use of foreign words, but it also feels like it's if it's not something we're naturally
True.
inclined to be saying or
Yeah.
hearing, then why would we choose
We
it?
might have themed episodes.
That's what I was gonna
We
say.
might
that
have.
I love that.
We might have
saving them
themed
for a themed
episodes. We
episode.
might have
Okay.
seasons. Who knows how long this goes?
We just have like
for.
a French season.
I mean, yeah, we could have just a
You guys
full
knew I was
French
gonna say
season
that. I
of
saw in
like
your
yeah.
eyes.
Mhm.
You guys were like,
8 episodes where we just find the grossest French words and go for it.
Camembert. It's just gross
I'm
when
just
I
gonna
say
find
it.
the French word with the most vowels next to each other, and that's just the one. And
I
I'm
just
gonna
imagine
repeat
you
that
just
for the whole
going.
French season. Probably.
He's
yeah.
fluent, guys.
Oh, I love
Fluent
it.
and French idiot.
Francophile over here.
Oh,
Ooh,
man.
that's a gross word.
Well, yeah. So
So,
I guess yeah.
should we
I can
jump into
start.
it now?
I can let's jump
Get
into
her
it.
going there, Cam.
Let's jump into it. All right, my first word. Churn. It's so gross. It is like originally I was thinking lectern, but then I was like it's not gross enough, and then the
Make it grosser.
make it grosser, and then I was like what would, and then the chur that to me is followed by an urn. Like I mean like that's gross.
I gotta tell you one thing I love about that word though.
Yes.
Is that I can physically see that word doing
Yeah.
what it is.
But that's part of why it makes it even grosser.
Yeah, like my
because
stomach literally goes.
you can hear the sound of like churning butter. You can hear that. Like you can hear it when you say
Goes
it,
off.
and
Churn.
it's just gross.
It does its dastardly job.
Yeah, it does.
It gets there. It is evil and it knows it.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And it's
so
snuck its
It
way
knows it.
into like common vernacular, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the most evil part.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
My stomach is churning. Oh, mine is too now. Oh,
yeah.
I
It's,
unfortunately
gross.
associate that word. Also, a while back we were talking about like the titles of romance novels, like
Yeah.
those dime store novels that are
okay. Yeah.
just the worst.
Mhm.
And our favorites are the like Amish looking ones. And we're like, what would be a horrible name for a dime store Amish romance novel? And it's As the Butter Churns. And it's so now it's just extra gross.
That is.
Churns. Ugh.
which is a shame because I bet Amish butter is really good.
Oh, it
It's probably
is
the
good
best.
actually. They sell it in town. It's Amish. It's not Amish. It's Amish.
It wasn't made by the Amish. It was regular butter,
it
and then
done
it got
been
Amish.
It done got Amish.
It's Amish rolled butter, and it's like this giant
Rolled
brick. It's like in a kind of a tube. Oh, I can't say that
a
word.
tubular brick.
Tubular. Tube. That's not my word, but I don't like it. I'm thinking about it a little too hard now because I know that that's the point. Anyways,
Oh,
it's
man.
super good.
It's-
I highly
yeah,
recommend it.
it's gross.
But
Yeah, the butter's good. The word is gross. Yeah.
We're good.
Jake, are you up?
I can be up. Where'd I put my phone? I might have to go on a small adventure here.
It's over.
Oh, it's oh man, I'm dumb.
Here,
let's
here,
no,
here.
it's okay. I got
You
it.
got it? Okay.
Oh, because I got my laptop here. I just had notes
Okay.
in my phone, but
cool,
I can wing it. I'm cool like that.
Yeah.
You ready for this?
I've always said
This
that
was
about you.
this was the
Always.
first one that I sent. I
Mhm.
think to really kick off the group chat that started this all. We got squish
I hate how
Squish.
quietly you.
because it's kind of a quiet.
Squish.
It's a quiet. I've
That's
Like,
true. You don't ever hear a loud
it's kind
squish.
of. I mean, if you think about it,
Mm.
a squishing action is kind of aggressive, but a squish is never loud. You know,
Never.
it's just a quick squish.
This podcast also might have a lot of mouth noises.
A lot of
just-
mouth. If
just
you are
FYI.
one of those people that's really into ASMR, you're probably going to be really not into this this podcast.
Or extra into
or
it
extra into it.
when you're over
One
there
of the two.
laughing.
Now I'm focusing on it.
On the laugh.
I
You shouldn't have said that first episode. You
shouldn't.
Yeah,
that was a bad way
but
to start.
That's okay.
We're in it now.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Man.
Yeah. And as I started listing off more words,
Mm-hmm.
and we identified that the SQU is just not a good combination
No.
for
It
the
really
English
is
language.
not.
Mm-mm.
And like you think about too, like a squish, like the thing, it's like something breaks and then stuff starts oozing out of it. Like there's nothing graceful about that.
No.
There's not. I gracefully squished
No.
as I walked with my soggy shoes in the rain.
I feel like
Squish,
you
squish,
just
squish, squish.
laid on a slew of horrible words back to
I
back
did,
to back.
but we're not.
I'm not going to point them out because they might be used later.
They could
But
be used later.
wow,
But
everything you just said
It's
was
because it's
deeply
everything
upsetting.
that is conjured by the squish. You know what?
By the squid.
Conjured by the squish. Okay, that's the shirt I'm
Album
making.
name.
It.
Yeah.
Conjured by the squish. Enter the mushroom.
Oh,
Title track.
oh man. Yeah. Well, and yeah, just the action. It's kind of the same thing as churn,
Yeah.
where the action it
Is that what
It
an no? Never mind.
emphasizes
I was thinking
it.
of on automatopoeia. Why can't I say words today? They're not
You're
coming
thinking
out.
about it too much.
I think I am.
You're really thinking
you
about
guys
these
have
words.
broken me.
Us.
Yeah, by this podcast.
This
It's
whole thing came
episode
from
1.
you.
I don't remember that.
You sat at the table. You brought up the point. You started singing about it, and then you made the group chat.
I've heard it both ways. I was thinking because I can't say the word now. I'm thinking so
like
hard.
onomatopoeia.
Onomatopoeia. I'll just
Yeah.
say it fast and pretend
Yeah,
like I said it
great.
correctly.
Yeah.
That's when a word sounds like
The action
the
that
actual
it is. Yeah.
like
Mhm,
buzz
mhm,
or something.
mhm.
So, what is it that we're talking about where these words are actually creating the thing we're talking, like the word it's meaning? That has to have that has to be
It's
a
gotta-
word, don't you think?
Yeah. If someone
Like
can.
churn,
someone
you
can help
actually
us
can
out.
see it do that.
Yeah.
And same with squish. It like feels like, I mean, I just see a gusher, you know,
Ooh.
like the
Mhm.
commercials.
There's a positive spin on it.
And
Yeah.
gushers were pretty freaking good.
Gushers were pretty good. Also pretty squishy.
They were really squishy.
Man, I
Yeah.
think we need.
Are
to,
there any good points to our words? But they're still gross.
They're
'Cause
still
if you,
gross.
yeah.
I mean, that was one of the things I was thinking about with churn and like how good butter is
Butter
can
is
be.
so
It's
good.
like, how do you get something so good out of such a
Yeah.
viscerally
But that is
bad
why I
word?
think about my stomach more. I think about like, oh, when you just like, I just went on this ride, or I've had too much to drink, and I'm churning. I woke up just like,
Yeah.
Well, that's why I think there's multiple dimensions to the reactions that we have to each, because like churn, word association, I think churn the butter. But
Yeah, that's
in
true.
terms of like just the word churn itself, I'm like, yeah, my stomach is
yeah, because
churning.
I'm the opposite. Even though I do associate churn with butter, my first thought is my stomach churned, like I have seasickness, or
Yeah.
like,
No,
that's
you guys.
my first thought.
You guys are the same. My first thought is butter churning, and I don't know
Mm.
why. I've never churned butter in my life. And
I
yeah,
know, isn't that so interesting how that's so quickly to the tips of our tongues?
I
How
feel
many
like
of us
your
have churned some
beard-
butter?
Yeah,
your
right.
beard says otherwise.
my beard does say otherwise. It's a little Amish, although
have
I'm not
definitely churned
affiliated.
some butter.
That'd be like, I think the
I
beard,
don't like that.
the beard gives like Amish adjacent.
It's Amish adjacent, heterite, I think. Maybe I don't
I
know,
like it.
something like that. All right, Sarah, what is your word?
Oh, well, I feel like it's a relatively appropriate word for the podcast. My first offering to the podcast is the word throat.
Ew.
Throat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just let that sink in for a little bit.
I don't know what it is about that word, but
Throat.
it popped in my head and I was like, yep, that's offensive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm offended by it. I did try to look up anything about it, which
Oh, I forgot to do that. For
gotta be
Squish.
real. I gotta be real with you. There's not like they're like, it's a throat, you guys.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep. Yep.
I did think it was kind of interesting. Throat is a noun. For those of you who don't know what a throat is, and it says well, I don't even know what this means. And this is from the online etymology dictionary.
I was on the same.
For reals though, I didn't even know. I mean, obviously in like concept, I knew it was a thing, but I have never been on it before now. And I don't even know exactly what it is I'm reading here, but they have all these words where it comes from the old Saxon word strota,
Ooh.
Middle Dutch stroot,
like that
Dutch
better.
strot for throat. You gotta have an accent when you say it. Or of uncertain origin, or the Italian strozza, which I'm sure I butchered because I actually don't know any Italian at all. Anyways, I just thought, okay, that kind of makes sense, that where we get the sound of it, but I think those words sound way better.
I mean, I feel like any Italian word, like 90% of the time, is just gonna sound better.
Yeah,
Pizza
true.
That's just how
does sound
Italian
better than
works.
any word.
I don't know.
I've ever thought
Yeah,
of.
we might have to do an Italian episode just to prove us wrong. but,
It's gonna
I
be a
mean,
tough one.
It would be.
But
Absolutely. 100%.
I'll put it on the list.
So,
Yeah.
so I would say if we can in any way make like an, I don't know if this is the proper word, but like an addendum to our word. This word came up when I was looking up, but like throaty.
Oof.
Oh.
That's one thing that we have talked about, is that if you make a word a plural, or if you put it in the past tense, it can make it even
Oh,
grosser.
That's what I mean.
So
So many
gross.
suffixes can
Yeah.
make
They
words
really do.
so
And
much
so
worse.
throaty.
They do.
Throaty.
Oh,
so
throaty.
Just,
Yeah.
Yeah, when I read that, I went, "Bleh."
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate
no.
that so much.
Throaty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think about the like inception, like bad word within gross word of how you'd say throat and your reaction is with your throat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then you're just
Yeah.
yeah, it's like that is the same vibe to me as someone puking and then someone seeing someone puke and puking again.
Throat.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Throat.
No joke.
That could be the
It's contagious.
the
like
term
that.
for that, like contagious vomit. Is throat. Did you just see him go all throaty?
Just,
Oh man.
dude, one of them puked and then it was throat for the rest of them.
I was just throat all
It was
over.
just throat. They just all
It's
they all
just wrong.
throated.
It's just.
It
Oh,
does kind of gross me out a little bit.
that's gross.
That's gross.
That's just. That's
I
just
did
gross.
think something that also, maybe it was just, it took us a long time at the table when we were kind of,
Mhm.
you know, creating the idea. But we did go through the words, basically saying them as gross
As horrifyingly
as
as we can.
possible.
Yeah. So
And
I think we're trying to keep these probably 10 minutes or less, probably, maybe. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
I don't know.
We're figuring it out.
I don't
just-
like boxes.
I mean,
Do you
could
like boxes,
be.
Jay?
I mean, whatever.
I'm
you
no
know,
cat.
we-
I don't like a
yeah.
box.
I don't think cats like boxes either. They're
Have you ever had a cat?
they're trying to get out.
Cats love boxes.
No, they love holes.
I looked it up because I was like, why
don't know.
do these cats? One of my cats loves bags. If you set like a grocery bag down on the like the reusable
A bag
ones
is not a box.
into the bag,
I
but it's
also
a similar
like
It's like a
bags.
floppy box.
Don't put me in a bag, man. No one says that.
It sounds like one of those really like uncomfortable and confusing insults. You floppy box.
Flappy box. Oh man.
Wow, that can
I'll write that one down
that
for
can
later.
go,
right? Yeah.
that
All
can
those-
go so many ways.
I'll keep that on reserve for the arguments I have in my head.
Adjectives are also really good.
It's true,
because
yeah.
they can go. They can make any other word gross too, like floppy box.
Floppy box.
I mean,
Flappy bags.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, but what I was saying, the cats, they because they're like you got it in my brain, and now I have to
sorry.
explain
Tell
myself.
us your weird cat box story.
Cats like boxes and other similar containers, my cat bags, because
Tupperware?
they're like it's their like hunting instinct, and they feel like they're in cover and they're like safe or like ready to pounce.
You know what I think it is?
Hmm.
Cats are just weird.
I would accept that as
I
an
mean,
answer
cats
as
are the
well.
spawn of Satan, so I mean, I would assume that they
whoa,
really
whoa,
want
whoa.
to.
That's
Don't put
Like,
Satan in that kind
it's
of a
aggressive.
box.
It is a take, and I
you know,
respect
it is. It's
Yeah.
my take.
I like
Yeah.
how
But
you're
is it a
holding your ground
hot
on that.
take?
I
Well,
don't think it's a hot take. I mean, maybe the length that I went might be a little hot.
We'll put a vote.
I mean,
Is
it
it a
might
hot
be,
take? Is it not a hot
you know,
take? Let
yeah.
us know in the comments below.
Satan, hell, by association, rather spicy.
I mean, true. Rather hot.
Rather hot.
Rather hot.
Rather
take,
hot
yeah.
places.
So,
Habanero.
you know, but should we end the episode 1, with saying our words as grossly
as gross as possible.
as we can? Should we do that?
I mean, I have a few other things.
You want okay?
on the
okay.
on the
Yes.
wrap up,
Okay.
but we
Do it.
could go into it real quick.
Yeah. Well,
I
what
wanna-
do you have? What do you have?
Oh, I had we could a semantic satiation check-in which if
Okay,
you guys
excuse Gesundheit. What did you just say?
You've seen Ted Lasso.
Semantic
It was in I
satiation.
don't remember the episode, but it was in season 2. Or
Are
it's-
you giving away, guys? You have to say
Spoilers.
spoiler.
Spoilers.
That's not a spoiler.
But
It is-
isn't
I mean,
it?
a
season
thing-
2
is a thing they say that is
They say
Okay,
so.
that's fair.
tangentially related. If
Okay,
anything.
but they can because they're dealing with like, what's that called? Now I don't know any words today. I should be off this podcast. You know what's gross? Not knowing any
Not
words.
knowing words.
That's
But no,
super
semantic
gross.
satiation is when you like say a word a bunch and then it just loses all of its meaning and becomes just sounds, which I think is going to happen
Yeah.
after we say our
Oh,
words as
yeah.
grossly as possible.
That's and then they get weird.
So I mean, we're only one in, but how are we feeling in our research of words and how gross they are and thinking about them? And if they've lost any meaning at all, or if we just hate the English language. I already kind of hated the English language to begin with. But
Well, you guys have definitely researched a lot more words than I have. I do not have a very long list. In fact, all the words that you guys know that I have are the words that I have.
I love
don't
that you
have
guys
any
think
more.
I've researched any of this. The thing I would say that to your point that I feel like it doesn't necessarily have to be research related, more like
Mhm.
usage
Mhm.
related is like, you know how one day you're like writing a word and you're like, that's not right.
Yes.
Mm.
Yep.
But then you check it, other people are like, yeah, that's how you spell that. And you're like,
Mhm.
but
But
it's
it's
just
wrong.
not right though.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
isn't. And every other day it's right.
Yep.
But today it's not right. And I think that's
Mhm.
kind of where the list comes from anyways. Like the word in and of itself would probably normally be somewhat benign in your vernacular. But at the moment it just like struck you odd. Like, nope, I can't stomach the words squish, churn, and throat, especially side by side.
back to back to back, that was
The
pretty
minute-
awful.
You're, thank you. When
My
we like
stomach
throw
just
them
churned.
out, yeah.
Catch me writing poetry with just all of these words.
If
Give
a
me a
song
sick
is
beat.
not born out of this podcast, I don't know
Oh
what we're doing.
Squish,
I
churn,
thought of that.
throat.
It's horrifying.
I try to make it. I have no beat in me at all for that. Sorry.
That's good.
Man.
The other thing I was thinking of is, do we have any words that sound less gross? Just off the top of our, do we have any honorable mentions in that sense?
Are they going to be related to?
They don't have to be related.
Our
just,
words?
I feel like if we're shedding a lot of light on the darkness, or
You want to?
highlighting
Do you
the
want to end
darkness,
on like this word doesn't sound
I
gross?
just feel like the Force, we should balance things out.
But every word is gross.
every word
And
is
Every
gross.
word
And
is
here's
gross.
here's the thing. I just
That's
thought
why I
of
said
two
less
words.
gross.
Yeah,
I just thought of two words that I go, oh, that's like a thing. Not only do I like it, it's pretty. And then I go, nope. The more I'm saying that word in my head, the more gross I am finding it. And now I might want to
Which-
add them to my list.
Yeah, that's fair. For me, I think if it's like a
gonna do it
one
right now.
thing, and we say it, and I don't think about it too much, I can say that word isn't too gross. For me, dazzle is coming to mind.
Dazzle is not an offensive word. I
No.
feel like we could make it one.
Oh,
That's-
easy.
We could easily make it
Yeah,
offensive.
at the moment, it's not bothering
But dazzle
me.
for me, I have good associations. I think the Z sound is nice. Is that the sound from who was looking? Were you listening, Sarah, to the French scatting? I thought I was listening to- oh man,
They only have one
Sound
sound. It's
for their scat.
that's so funny to me.
which cracks me up because
Yeah.
at first I was like, this guy is just joking,
And then
and
you
I'm
listen to
busting up.
another
I mean, I like listening to French
Yeah.
music, but I was like, okay, I'm done with that. And then it came on other songs, and it's the same thing, and I'm like, oh, this
This
is
is
what a
real.
French
Yeah.
scat is. It's fon,
Mhm.
fon, 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 fon. It's super talented,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that is all I'm gonna say.
True.
I'm sure some people just love it.
Well, I kind of already said that lectern was kind of my.
It is less
It
gross.
is less
than
gross
churn.
than
It's
churn.
less
That's
gross
true.
than
So,
churn.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
So I feel like that.
I don't
probably
feel great
is-
about it.
No, I don't
You
feel good
know.
about it either. Again, every word is gross.
Every
this,
word is gross.
This word is still not great.
No.
But at the same time, it's a little less gross than churn.
It's less.
So.
It's less abrasive.
Mm-hmm.
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 Mine talking about throat
Mm-hmm.
and reading on because when I'm like, what is the etymology of the word throat? It
Mhm.
just describes what a throat is to me, and I'm like, thank you. that's so helpful. The word larynx came up a lot, which didn't actually
Larynx.
bother me that much. Because I feel like anything with an X in it is kind of a little bit cooler. Just a little. It's
A little bit. I was
it's
kind
a
of
little
thinking
bit
with
of a
the
rebel
Z,
letter.
with the Z as
That's what I was
well.
Well,
gonna
because
say,
it's a
know?
rebel letter, because
Yeah.
it makes a Z. It's like, you know what? Not only am I an X, I'm also a Z. Like,
I was gonna say it's like cooler in like a kind of a punk way.
Yeah, he does
you
whatever he
know?
wants.
It's like it's not necessarily any less dirty or like a little bit grungy.
No,
but
because sometimes
it's cooler.
when you're describing one thing I had found that something I've never actually thought about that much is the English language in the sense of how strange and difficult it is and all this stuff, right? Until having children and teaching them to read. And then you're like, hey, here are the rules. And they apply until they don't, which is about 50-50 actually. Like there's really no saying when they are or aren't going to apply. And I'm like, yes, that's an X. And it goes X, which if you can spell that phonetically, I don't know.
No,
And
no
I'm like,
idea.
it kind of sounds like an S. It kind of sounds like a, I don't know. And then sometimes for no reason at all, it sounds like a Z.
4 S's, yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
And so it's pretty funny just looking at words and thinking, I'm so glad that this is my native language because I can't even fathom how hard it is.
There's no chance.
I would give up. I'd be like, forget it.
Well, especially the one that I've been told is like one of the hardest parts, or just an additional layer of making English really hard, is how often we use idioms.
Oh yeah.
Which that could be. I mean, once we start branching out into like phrases and sayings,
oh yeah,
Yeah.
we could have a whole season on idioms because some of them are
I
truly
really
terrible.
want to.
But
That's
just
so funny.
The amount of times we say things that like the words themselves have absolutely no bearing on the context of our
If
conversation.
you were
Yeah.
to define it, you would what? That means nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah. I think so, and that is, to the credit of other nations and things learning English
gonna
and
say.
and doing it so well.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking we're sitting over here like complaining about feminine and masculine now. It's like, we'll never get it. And they're like, you literally make no sense at all. Even a
there
little
is-
bit.
That reminds me, there's like a TikTok guy or an Instagram guy where he is the languages, like he's created characters for the languages, and there's like universal language, and he's kind of the narrator and the moderator between all the languages. And he goes in and I don't know, find his tag and tag him. But it's an entire channel devoted to making fun of languages and it's the best. I
We're gonna have to, like,
love that he
tag it on our
does
thing.
this. It's amazing. Yeah, we'll have to find it.
throw it in there.
But yeah, oh man,
Throw him a freaking bone, man.
I think he needs to throw us a bone. We're
Maybe-
just starting
maybe he
out.
will.
You scratch our
So-
back, we'll scratch yours.
I'm not
sort of
scratching
situation.
anyone's
Yes.
back unless you pay me $5.
5.
Yeah.
A back scratch.
How
Man,
long
I've got high
does
rates.
the back scratch have to? I'm thinking like, hey, can you get? I can't reach that.
I mean,
itch.
if we're
I'm
talking
not gonna, like,
anyway,
keep doing
if
it.
I think my friends, sure, $5, I'll take a fiver. But a random stranger calling someone on the bus is like, "Hey, buddy, can you scratch my back?"
Does he have a mustache
I'm
or
gonna
does
need
he
more
not
than a
have
5
mustache?
spot. What do you got against mustaches?
In case you didn't know, everyone in this room has a mustache.
Every single one of us. All right, we're gonna wrap up.
Okay, we're gonna say our words is gross.
I think we do it all at the same time.
Wait.
It's just
All
as
at the same
grossly
time?
as
But I
possible.
want to hear you each attempt the word though.
Okay, we
That's
can.
why I like
We can
Which
do
word?
it once around.
start with your word
Okay,
and we
yeah.
each try
Oh,
it
okay, I
out.
see,
we
I
gotta
see.
we gotta palate this
Okay,
baby.
all right.
I'm sorry. That was my least favorite sentence ever. Ugh. I
we gotta palate
apologize.
this baby.
It sounded like
Babies just aren't palatable enough for me.
they really aren't. It sounded like you said pellet. I'm gonna pellet this baby. You're gonna just throw shit at a baby. You can't do that to babies, Jake.
Absolutely. That's
I-
why I don't like them, because I can't,
I'm just gonna throw. I'm gonna hot
can't
stuff
throw
out.
stuff.
Come here, baby.
Okay.
I want listeners to know that Jake is wearing fried egg socks.
It's true.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, you were talking just earlier about how much you
Eggs.
love eggs.
Oh my god,
They
I
always
do.
make you
amazing.
happy.
And those socks make me, well, it makes me slightly less happy because the eggs are on your feet, but you could have picked any sock.
Feed eggs. Yeah.
Feet eggs as a fetus said really horribly.
And we're back to babies.
It's always about babies.
Oh, that's terrifying.
All right, let's start
Are we
with
saying-
Cameron's word.
Okay. All right. Here's...
Wait, can I cough before you do it? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Also,
Okay.
random thing. I haven't heard it in my microphone. I'm curious. Sarah has her dog Scout right next to
The
her.
wonderful
and,
Mr. Scout.
I have a feeling that he was breathing a little
He-
heavy or
He was
snoring
that's
almost.
all he does is
So-
heavy breathe.
yeah, so
He's
just-
like Jake oh. 2.0.
If you hear that in the podcast, just know.
It's like, am I a mouth breather? Is it that bad? And then you're talking about my laugh. I was like, I'm a mouth breather laugher. Yeah,
I
that's-
actually am a mouth breather most of the
I
time.
sling that around as an insult a little bit too much to be accused of being a mouth breather.
Let's just hope it's not true.
I love
I sure
it.
hope
Takes
so.
one to know one.
But yeah, also when he was just licking the pillow, I'm honestly gonna be surprised if that doesn't come up.
Hopefully
that
it's
wasn't picked
buried under.
I sure
Yeah,
hope so.
he is old now, and so he's just constantly making unappealing noises.
It's what we all
Which
have to look
ultimately
forward
is
to.
But that
what we're
it
all
kind of
about.
works for this
Is that
podcast.
not
I
what we're
think.
all
Yeah,
It
about?
absolutely.
It works. If there's just
100%.
nasty, horrific background noise, we've done our job. In the background, someone's just going churn. Squeak.
If we ever get a studio audience for our podcast, we
Is that a
want...
thing?
I know, not at all, but
it is now.
But it is now.
Sign up.
And we will have you slowly and quietly, but get louder over time. Just start saying like our gross words. You know, it could be from this episode or any episode. It doesn't matter. So, okay, are we saying our words?
I
Do it.
think we're ready for
Alright.
it.
Churn.
All right. Churn.
Ooh, ooh. I like that one. I like that one.
Okay, here we go. Churn.
Ooh. Ooh.
Your face. I'm sad that
The
some
higher
people
pitch.
won't
like
see
the F
it.
turn. On
Yeah.
the
Exactly. We're gonna find new ways as to why these.
I
words
just
By the
want,
end of
as
this-
people, if people weren't convinced throughout the episode that the words were gross, by the end
We're
of it, they
making
will
it
be.
happen.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
we're saving minds or something along those lines.
People just will refuse to communicate after they listen. They're
Yep.
like, nope, I'm nothing doing, pal.
Honestly, fair play to them. Fair play.
Guys, connect less.
Alrighty,
Uh,
man. All right, you up?
I'm
You've
up.
got
Yeah.
it.
I'll lead off my word. Squish.
I mean, your face is so good. You looked like personally
Squish.
affronted by that.
I kind of was.
He's
Kind of
looking
like
right
going
at me.
straight at me.
He looked right at me.
Yeah.
Honestly, I blacked out. I don't know what happened. How did it go?
Everyone's
okay. It was
always
good.
asking
That was-
me if I know Tyler Durden. Okay, here we. This
right.
I got it. You ready?
Yeah. Yep.
Squish.
Yeah.
I feel like I never want to say that word ever again.
No.
No.
All right.
Squish. That's not what I was like.
I felt like that was more true to the actual action of the squish.
Yeah.
I think
It really was.
Uh-huh.
It was quick.
Yep.
It was
Mhm.
gross.
Yep, absolutely.
And it
Yep.
was.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and the kids ran screaming.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. All right.
Okay. My word. Throat.
Oh no. Nope, that was wrong. That was. You added an extra syllable in there.
wasn't wrong, but it sure as hell wasn't right.
That was
You guys, I said what I said. It's just-
it was
That was extraordinary in the worst way possible.
oh man. Okay.
Cam, how do you follow that?
All right.
How do you?
Throat. I
There's
kind of
one-
added a little bit of an R in
there
there,
was a
to be
weird
honest.
amount of like tongue sticking out of your mouth.
True. That's the only.
That was better. 'cause
what
I
happened?
watched it.
I don't know.
I don't know if I want to watch you guys while you're saying the words. It's like
No, it's-
extra offensive.
You gotta use all the muscles, all the things.
the English
to,
language. That's how we communicate.
Yeah.
We're not animals.
No.
I don't know. If we're breaking these down to the disgusting sounds that they are, I don't think there's anything more animal than that.
True. Yeah.
And speaking of throat,
Yeah.
hated
I
myself
imagined
for
a
that.
frog.
That
I imagined
I imagine like a weird cartoon bear.
oh. Like Yogi Bear.
Funny, I also won that on my high school superlative. Most likely to be a weird cartoon bear. How did you know?
You went to
I
a
guess 'cause
weird
it's obvious.
school, man.
Whoever was on your yearbook committee or class
high.
or
Shout out
whatever.
Mrs. Fairweather.
Oh man.
Not Fairweather. She was ASB. She was cool though.
Nice.
My sister was at one point the editor of the yearbook, so
Wow.
blame her.
Okay, great. Cool.
That's
We
what
will.
I do. Just
Throughout.
blame my sister. Throat.
I don't know why that was my response to what you said. It just felt right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's nasty.
Oh man.
Well, that was super gross.
Yeah.
That's totally
That was
gross.
All right. Well, great first episode. We
That was
hope
good.
that you enjoyed it, and cue the outro.
Every word is gross if you think about it. Every word just sucks if you really let it. Every word is gross if you think about it. Every word is gross if you